Welcome to the Dr. Joe Show, where we learn about women's health and sexual wellness. Our guest today is Jasmine Ridlee. Jasmine, thanks so much for joining us and for sharing your wisdom. How have you been lately?
I've been really good. I recently just moved, like a really big move, and so I'm still getting used to a new life in a new part of the world. This is something completely new to me. The area is very different, so um, going through a transition, but mentally I'm just in a whole different place, so I feel really good. I'm good.
All right, well, good. So again, you moved, I believe, from Tennessee to Arizona, correct? Or were you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, good. And how long have you been there in Arizona?
It's been about coming up on 7 months.
Okay,
The time
so
went by really fast.
yeah, I'm sure it does. Yeah, and it's interesting when you go to somewhere new that that people have different customs and that type of thing. So, and all of that. But wanted to talk to you today about get some wisdom for these younger women in college. And I know, I have talked about this, before, and I have had the honor of having you in my class, and so enjoyed that very much, and then enjoyed post class as well because you've had a lot of wisdom that you've shared over the years. What were your college years like, as far as looking back on it for you?
I had a very full, I had a very almost when you see a movie and you see how people have their college lives, I was that person. So I had a lot of experiences. I was very involved. I've always been a very flamboyant person. So I've always just been very out there. Social butterfly, talk to anybody. And so I did a lot in undergrad. As far as dating in undergrad, I I actually only dated about two guys, but I was with one guy for the majority of the time I was in undergrad.
Did that go well?
It started well. It did not end too great. We don't speak anymore. In the beginning, he was very kind. He was a gentleman. Um, and as time went on, it was I call it what it is. There was a lot of mental abuse.
Hmm.
And so it started small. Looking back, I now see what he did. It was almost like a strategy. I don't know if he knew he was doing it, but he would start with small things. He would be a couple minutes late to a date, and he wouldn't tell me he was running late. And then it would go from that to he'd be hours late or just not even show up, not tell me he didn't see a problem with it. Then it became, he got to the point where he would tell me that nobody else liked me, nobody else was going to love me. So there was a lot of emotional abuse going on behind closed doors.
Right.
Um, and yeah, so there towards the end, it was just a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs. So that did not end well. We don't speak anymore.
Okay, so I'm sorry to hear that, but do you think that experience is fairly common amongst, well, both, I guess, both males and females at college, but especially females?
I do feel like that. I've spoken with a lot of my female friends, and I feel like we all have that one story at least, and it's always so extreme. It's never just I had a bad ex and we broke up. It's always an extreme. I stayed with, went through all of this heartache over and over again, and for nothing.
So,
Not for nothing.
what were your thoughts after you had a chance to kind of get back away from it and analyze it? Is there anything that you would have done different if you were a college woman now and having the same situation come upon you?
So when I wasn't undergrad dealing with the situation, when I had the time to step back then, I think, like I said, I was in a different space mentally.
Mm.
And so I didn't really know how to love myself. And so I kept trying to justify what he was doing and making excuses when I backed away. But now, as an adult, and I back away from the situation, I wish I could tell my younger self, stop going back. Nothing is going to change. And what you're seeking in him, you're just seeking that in yourself, really. So just what you're looking for him, find it in yourself. Give yourself whatever it is that you think he's giving you, and you won't even need him anymore.
Gotcha.
Because there's nothing coming from that relationship. And so I wish I could just tell myself, don't do it, girl.
So, in other words, you're self-sufficient if you just realize that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
How many of your girlfriends do you think went through the same thing? Was it a majority or
I would say about 90%.
okay? Do you think that that is a kind of a characteristic of just this particular time that we're going through in history, or do you think it's always been that way as far as,
I
you know?
think I would like to think that it's a my generation or a newer concept that's happening, but I don't. I think it's always been like that. I think that maybe I just didn't see it because I was younger and I didn't notice it. And by the time I got old enough to understand it, it had all kind of blown past. But as an adult now, and I talk to people of all ages, and I hear, and I'm like, oh, this has been happening. This is not just us.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.